Hello and welcome to Defence Line, our weekly program on defence, security and more. The issue of women officers getting a permanent commission in the country's defence forces has been rankling for many years. With the union government filing an appeal in the Supreme Court against the Delhi High Court order in favour of such a commission, the matter has once again come to the fore. The question also is whether women officers should serve in the combat wings like infantry and armoured corps and also fly fighters in the combat zones. This is what we discuss today in Defence Line with Major General MPS Sandhu, former Additional Director General, Mechanized Forces, Captain Jaspreet Kaur, an ex-officer of the Judge Advocate General's branch, and Air Vice Marshal HPS Sidhu, former Assistant Chief of Integrated Staff. Welcome to the discussion. But before that, let us look at this report.
The Army has again stressed that women cannot be granted permanent commission in combat wings such as infantry, mechanized infantry and armoured corps. The Army has made it clear that there is no question of granting permanent status either now or in the foreseeable future. According to the Army, this is because of the possible hazards and trauma, including the possibility of them being made a prisoner of war. The Defence Ministry has filed an additional affidavit before the Supreme Court which states the reasons why women should be denied permanent commission. The affidavit states that the bulk of the Army's junior commissioned officers and other ranks who hail from rural India are not yet ready to accept a woman as their leader in combat situations. It further states that the prolonged absence of women officers from a unit due to inherent family-related issues was also highly detrimental to the overall efficiency of the unit. The Army also seems to be unhappy with women officers requesting for spouse postings. The ministry has filed the affidavit in connection with the appeal filed by its challenging the Delhi High Court's March 12, 2010 judgment directing the centre to grant permanent commission status to women short service commissioned officers in the Air Force and the Army. At present, women are inducted as SSC officers in some support service, but the government and the Army has been unwilling to grant permanent commission.
We are in conversation with two former Army and one Air Force officer. General Sandhu, I'll start with you. There are two issues here. One, should women be given permanent commission as directed by the Delhi High Court? And two, should women be made to serve in the combat arms and support services?
See, as far as regular commission is concerned, I thought it was unfair not to give them the opportunity to get regular commission. And to that end, I totally agree with the court ruling. Yes, but regular commission cannot be taken for granted. Even for the gentleman officers, it is not that he is a short service officer and he will get regular. There is a screening process, and the lady officers will also have to go through that screening process. It's not that automatically they will get regular commission. But otherwise, per se, yes, they must be allowed regular commission.
But should they also be made to serve in the combat arms?
Yeah. We take the example of the Israeli army. Every girl in Israel between the age of 18 and 22 is required to join the army.
Very valid, yes.
And they are doing a fantastic job. Some of them leave after the obligatory period. Some continue and have been commanding not only units but even brigades. So if they can be physiologically okay and everything, then I think we should not underestimate the lady.
So it's just the mindset that needs to change, is it?
It is the mindset. And of course, there are other aspects of it. There is the aspect of how much the men will accept. I again have my views on that. I don't think there will be a problem with the men either. After all, the men are accepting them in the services. And I would say that the Indian Army has gone about it very well. You see, they first got to the services. First they started with JAG and education, then they graduated to ASC ordnance. Then they've even graduated to some of the combat support arms today. The air defense is getting them. The engineers are getting them. Signals was getting them from a long time.
So do you think the time has now come to even put them into infantry and the mechanized infantry and armored corps?
And artillery.
And artillery.
Definitely.
But what is your experience in the army? When you were serving, I'm sure you had a lot of women officers. Are they able to do most of the jobs as well as the men?
I would say at times better. I'm talking at the officer level. Because these girls, firstly, they come with a purpose. And for them, if you detail them as an LO for example, a liaison officer to a lady VIP visiting. They didn't really like it. They said, why only us?
Okay, let me get Jaspreet into the conversation. Captain Jaspreet, first, what is your view on giving permanent commission to the women officers?
Sir, I am all for giving permanent commission to lady officers, but not in the combat arms. There I draw the line.
Okay.
Because I believe that women and men have different physical abilities, and we should not fight with nature. If we are good at it, I should say thank you to General Sandhu for saying those kind words that we do a good job. So we should stick, I think, where we are doing a good job, let's do it better.
But General Sandhu gave the example of the Israeli army.
Yes, sir.
So, if the Israelis can do it, why can't the Indian women also do those kind of roles?
We have women officers even in the US. But even the US is now at the moment rethinking their stance of sending women to the combat area. We should learn from the mistakes done by other countries and not commit the same mistakes done by them. That is what my opinion says.
But when you were serving the JAG branch, I'm sure you were interacting with the other arms and services. What was your experience? Did the men in other arms and services, especially the combat arms, accept you as an officer?
Yes, as such, I had a very good experience in the army. I did not have any problem of whether insubordination or anything like that. But there is a difference in outlook towards a male officer and a female officer. They feel that the female officers get the cushion jobs. They're not posted to the RR. They do not go to the field. And the male officers, they feel they have to stay away from their families. That mindset is there, and it will take a long time to change.
Are women officers willing to take up some of those roles? Are they willing to get posted, let's say, in the Rashtra Rifles?
Personally, if I was asked, yes, I would do it. I don't know whether it is good or bad, but I would do it. If I'm told, okay, fine, join the combat arms, I would love to fire a tank. Why not? But I know that if I'm taken a prisoner of war, what then?
So maybe this is not the right time, but a time will come when they can get into the various, combat arms and such.
Yes, it might, but today is not the right time.
May I add something
Yes.
to that? You see, what she said is very pertinent. And therefore, if you are to bring them into the combat arms at this stage, it has to be on voluntary basis. And at the end of the day, if people are volunteer enough to do it, well, why not? We have to make a beginning. And the beginning has to be by volunteers.
So you mean maybe you can make them give an undertaking that they have no problems if they are treated like this once captured or something?
No, there's no need for an undertaking as long as things are explained to them. And you see, this present system of commission into the armed forces, it's not my choice whether I join armor or not, unless of course I have family claim or something.
Right.
Otherwise, I might land up in the infantry, I might land up in the ASC, I might land up anywhere. So also for the ladies. Out of the arms which they are in services which they are permitted, they may be sent to any of them. But except the specialized ones like JAG branch and all. But for the ladies, we should make an exception that if they have to volunteer for combat, to join the combat arms, they must be volunteers for the combat arm.
Only then you mean you should leave it to the women officers?
Yes.
AVM Sidhu, what is the situation in the Air Force? I mean, what is the approximate number of officers, women officers that you have as of now, and what are the kind of roles that they are undertaking?
Kalmur, let's face it, Air Force is far more forward-looking
Okay.
than both the other services in the Indian armed forces, at least. We've almost about 1,000 women officers. That's 6.5% of our officer strength. That's a very significant number. They are flying aircraft. Not fighter aircraft, but they fly aircraft and transports and helicopters. And one of the lady officers who had suitable experience has landed AN-32 in Dawlat Beg Oldi, DBO at 16,500 feet. To go there and land an aircraft is not a piece of cake. Others have flown IL-76 into Leh. Now I'd like to make one significant difference. Flying into combat zone is quite acceptable, but a combat role is an entirely different thing. And I think I'll beg to differ with other speakers. Let's face it, women are not expected to do everything as good as men. They do some things better than men, and others they cannot do better than men. There are physiological limitations.
No, but Air Force, AVM Sidhu, should they be allowed to fly the fighter aircraft?
Of course, but not in combat roles. Flying a fighter aircraft per se, I think women do it as well as anyone else.
But they
But
could,
I'll tell
they
you,
could
okay.
end up in the
One
conflict
minute.
zones.
Israeli Air Force did a trial in which they had these women fighters who flew fighters,
Okay.
and men do combat. And over 90% of the time, the male pilots won that combat
Okay.
sequence. Why? They figured it out psychologically. Women aren't by nature aggressive enough. They are meant to be mothers. They are protective. They are hardworking. They are consistent. They are patient. Those are the qualities which will play up well in the jobs that they are assigned, whether in the armed forces or otherwise. Now let's get this right. Armed forces is not a job employment agency. It's created for national security. It's meant to be combat ready at all times, and therefore it must have suitable people to perform suitable roles. It's not a gender bias or something that, just because of gender equality you must fit in women into
Very well
combat
put. I
roles.
think the question is
And
not
I
of
think
bias or equality. The question is of what is paramount
what is
for national
required.
security.
Exactly. And if women can do something better in a particular role, even in the armed forces, and they are required, they should be used.
Right. I'll just come back to you.
I think
Here is time for a short break. When we return, we continue our discussion on whether women officers should serve in the combat arms of our defense services.